Hi friends, Zoe here, and today I'm super excited because I'm going to be doing a Q&A. I asked you guys to ask me questions on Instagram, Facebook, and I got a lot of questions and I don't like to leave anything unanswered, so let's get into it. Okay, so there are a few questions on here that I might let you know that I already have answered and link a video below. We're just gonna dive right in now. Why Rome? And do you have any advice for people wanting to move to Rome? So I did actually answer these questions in a Rome Q&A. There's a part 1 and part 2. So I'll leave those ones below. And I also have a playlist all about my journey moving to Italy, how I did it, the working holiday visa process, and just the beginning of getting here and getting myself settled in. So I'm gonna leave that playlist down below because I'm sure it will answer any and all the questions. But if you do have any additional ones after watching that, please ask in the comments and I do my best to respond to everyone. All right, so Zoe, are you an only child? If so, what were the pros and the cons? So I have a younger brother named Drake. Yes, that is his real name, like the rapper.
Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom.
So Drake is my younger brother, and I have an older stepbrother named Kale. And I actually consider Kale like pretty much my real brother because we lived together for like 20 years or yeah, so I don't know. I just feel like he's just been there my entire life, so he is my brother. Pros and cons. Honestly, there's no cons. I loved my childhood. I love my family. I love my brothers. The pros were that I always had people to hang out with and play with. And I cannot imagine growing up as an only child. And I love that I had brothers because it introduced me to a lot of things that I wouldn't have been open to probably if I had sisters. I was pretty much a tomboy. Like I would game all the time with my brothers. We'd be outside playing basketball, riding bikes, like playing hockey. Not to say that girls don't do this stuff, but I feel like I was introduced to it by my brothers. So we definitely had a lot of fun. We spent all of our time outside together. When we were inside, we played video games occasionally, but we were always outside and it was amazing. Next, have you ever traveled without a plan? And if so, how did you convince your parents that it is not as crazy as it sounds? I'd love to try nomadic style traveling this upcoming summer, but I can imagine my parents might worry a lot about my safety. Okay, parents are always going to worry. And yes, I have traveled nomadically only for a short period of time. I did backpack through Europe. I did make a video all about my experiences, which I'll link below. I definitely recommend everybody needs to do this on their own someday, and everybody needs to take a trip by themselves someday. It can grant you so much self-discovery, but you just truly learn so much when you get yourself into situations and you're the only person who can get yourself out of it. You really just gain a whole new bout of confidence, independence. It is just the best thing that ever happened to me and that I can recommend for anyone else. I went on my Euro trip and came back a completely different person. You really just have this time to just be that person that you are true inside. I could go on and on about that, but like I said, I'll link that video below. And I think in regards to your parents worrying is they're always gonna worry about you, but as long as you're old enough to make your own decisions, just prove to them that what you're capable of doing. My parents, I told them back in the day I was gonna move to Italy. I told them I was gonna move to Toronto. I told them I was going to do all of these things and I've done them. Regardless of how scary or how maybe at times I doubted myself, I always did it. And now I've proved to my parents that I can do anything. And I'm sure they worry all the time, but I've always proven to be successful with my choices. So the more and more you can prove to be successful with your choices, it will just grant them probably a little bit more ease about it. Next question, isn't being positive all the time not really reality? What do you do about immoral people all around? So this is all about your mindset, okay? You can have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. And I choose to always grow and I choose to always be positive whenever I can. Why would you choose to live a life where you're feeding yourself negative thoughts? I think that although situations and people might be negative around us, you can always spin it in a positive light. So why not try to live life with a smile on your face the whole time rather than frowning and just giving into that negativity cycle? Think about it. If somebody says something mean to you and you just really like repeat it over and over in your mind, you start to go down this negative downward spiral. And if you choose to think, you know what, this person obviously has something going on internally and that's why they're taking it out on me, then you can choose to take the high route and be a positive person. I know that negative things, like I said, are happening every single day, but it's all about how you choose to live inside of here. So if you're gonna live inside of here in a happy place where you're just constantly thinking positive thoughts, then you're going to live a positive life. So although I do have bad days, I try to always be positive whenever I can, and whenever I notice myself going down these spirals, I change it. So yes, positive all the time is a reality for me. I try to strive for that anyways, and I definitely recommend all of you strive to do that too, because it will change your life. Next, what's the best advice you have ever got? I feel like I've had this question before, and I'll link my other Q&As below. Honestly, what I can think about right now is the best advice I ever got is from books. I feel like books have granted me so much, and also experiences have been the best advice for myself, if that makes sense. Like I said, backpacking through Europe by myself, best thing I could have ever done. I'd say advice-wise, I can think of one book in particular which I can really say changed my life, and that was Mind Power by John Kehoe. I have spoken about this book numerous times. It's one of the only books that I have a physical hard copy of that I keep and reread over again. And this book just opened me up to the whole world of positive thinking, law of attraction, and really granted me some amazing experiences in my life. I definitely am a firm believer in positive thinking, law of attraction, big dreams, goal setting, all of that. I'm all about that. And this book really introduced me, kind of put a label to all of it, I guess, and taught me different techniques. So I definitely owe a lot to that book, and I'd say it was probably the best advice that I've ever gotten. Next, do you have tips on getting inspired and feeling creative? I know they're super important for making great content, but sometimes it seems like the feelings aren't there. Do you wait for them or do you seek them out? So in regards to creativity, I feel like the more I can quiet my mind, the more I allow for positive thoughts to enter and creative thoughts to enter. So what I'm saying is, my last few months in Toronto, when I was so stressed out about moving, when I was so busy, when I was trying to do all of these things, I feel like my creativity somewhat escaped me a little bit. Well, it was always there. It's always been there. I've always thought of myself as a creative person. But I feel like now that I'm in Italy and I can be more relaxed and I can take quiet time for myself every day, really quiet time. Like outside right now, like the view that I'm looking at right now, you guys have seen it in my Zoey's Diary videos. But it's just now that I can feel so much more peaceful and my mind is a lot more clear, I can allow for more creative things to come and enter my mind. Also, I'd say books is where I get a lot of my inspiration and ideas, and I'm constantly listening to books on Audible, so that is something that I recommend doing as well. I find that I can read books a lot faster by listening to them, so that is something that I love to do. I listen to books every single day, and they always grant me new perspectives, new ideas. I love quotes. Anytime that I can obtain knowledge and really think about what I'm learning and listening to, that always grants me new ideas. I hope that helps. Next question. This one's a big one, and I'm actually excited that one of you decided to ask me this. So, Zoey, what are your possible plans after your holiday visa expires? Guys, honestly, I'm taking you along for the ride, whatever that might be. I'm working through that in my mind right now. As I mentioned to you a couple months ago in one of my Zoey's Diary videos, I thought that I knew what my next big move is. And I have an idea of what it is, but I don't know I haven't nailed it down. So I want to come back to Europe. But of course, my visa expires in Italy in September, and I'm going back next summer to British Columbia, Canada, to go to my best friend's wedding. So I'm gonna have to go back to Canada. I'm gonna have to apply for a new visa. So I'll definitely be in Canada for a little bit, but I want to come back to Europe so bad. My heart is here. I know I've only been here for a few months so far, but I know that I need more time here and I want to live in a different city, a different country in Europe. So I have some ideas, which I'm sure I'll share as things progress, but I am coming back here. That is the goal. I want to come back here and I want to be able to live and work independently. So that is my big audacious goal for 2017 is I really need to establish myself. I really need to hustle and I really need to be able to fend for myself out here. And I do really want to try living in Europe by myself, like a cozy little place to call my own. So that's my dream. That's my goal. So I hope that happens. And like I said, regardless, I'm taking you guys along for the ride. Okay, Zoey, how is the vegan food in France? Which country is more vegan friendly, France or Italy? Okay, so they're vegan friendly in different ways. Honestly, it's been hard for me grocery shopping in Italy, finding things that I would normally find in grocery stores, like oats has been more difficult to find, dates are more difficult to find. Italy only really sells like the produce that is in season, which is amazing because it's an amazing experience to have and live and eat like that way, but it's been difficult to find certain things and also substitutions. If I wanted to say try like a vegan yogurt or if I wanted to try vegan cheese, it's just not easy to find those things. But also going back to France, when I did visit Franprix, which I showed, if you guys haven't checked out my Paris vlog, I'm gonna link it below. So I went to that grocery store, and that was a small grocery store on that corner. And I found a lot more than I found in the 3 grocery stores closest to me in Italy. But that being said, they're more vegan friendly in different ways, because if I go to a restaurant in Italy, I can always order pizza without the cheese, pasta, pomodoro. There's always options, where I feel like French cuisine is more heavy on the meat and cheese. But I have tried amazing vegan specific restaurants in both places. So it's all how you look at things. I don't want to say that one country is better than the other, because I love them both, and I love them both for all different reasons. So, you know, both are vegan friendly, so just visit both. How do you stay true to yourself and make sure you don't let the opinions of others affect you too much? I've made a video all about taking nothing personally, and I will link that below. It does take practice, and honestly, sometimes when other people are mean to me, or like hater comments, or people are rude to me on a daily basis, like, it does affect me. Sometimes it makes me a bit sad, but I think that the one advice that I can give is to be your own best friend. You have to live with yourself for the rest of your life, so just make sure that you're constantly your own motivator, your own cheerleader. So if somebody says something mean to you, just try to ignore that as much as you can. Let it pass, let it pass. Just pump yourself up a little bit. Remind yourself of all those things that you were great at. Remind yourself of all the things that you have accomplished, and think about the big picture, where you're going, and how this person, their opinion is just a little blip in the radar, and you are capable of so many amazing things. So just keep your eye on the prize. Sometimes I know it can really hurt, especially if this person is somebody who's supposed to be a close friend of yours or close family. But use it as your fuel, okay? Use it as the fuel of your fire. If somebody says you can't do something, prove them wrong. If somebody says they don't think that you're capable of something, or something just in general isn't possible, use it as your fuel to grow stronger and hustle and just be ambitious and just get your goals and dreams achieved. Next, when are you going to make a video solely on sophistication? So I actually have that planned for the new year. I have a lot of really great content ideas for you guys after I get back from my couple of trips. That being said, I don't know what my video schedule is going to be like, but I promise there's going to be a lot of fun little festive vlogs. I'm going to Denmark and Amsterdam, so I'm going to share a lot of great content with you guys. I don't know, like I said, uploading schedule, but I'm going to try to get as many videos out as I can, and just be patient with me, because coming in the new year, I have some amazing ideas for you guys. And make sure you hit that little bell down below so that you can get notified when I publish a new video. Where did you get your cell phone case? Okay, I wanted to talk about this. So this is a cell phone case that I got in Juxtaposition in the Annex in Toronto, which was by my old place. It's a little gift store, and I remember seeing it and I just loved it. And I'd never been to Paris. Every time people have seen this, and before I went to Paris last weekend, they'd be like, oh, so you love Paris? Like, when did you go to Paris? I'm like, I've never been to Paris. This was like my manifesting tool, okay? This is my manifesting tool, and as my screensaver on my phone too, and on my laptop, it's my vision board. I digitally made a vision board, and it's digitally here. So I'm definitely all about the vision board stuff. I'm gonna link my video below. I had some amazing results on the last physical vision board that I made, so check that out. I believe in the manifesting, you know, visually. So yeah, okay, but I got this at Juxtaposition in Toronto in the Annex. Next, what vlogging camera do you use? I use a Nikon Coolpix camera to film this type of video, all my videos. This one, it's small, but it's big. I'd like a smaller one to carry around in my bag and not feel like I constantly have to be like, oh, you know, I'm worried about it getting stolen and things. So I want a smaller vlogging camera. Occasionally I do use my cell phone, and I don't think that you guys can really tell the difference between that, but I know the quality of a very nice vlogging camera, and I aspire to have one of those in the future. That would be 2017 goals too, is to obtain a new shiny little vlogging camera that would be more convenient for me. Next, what is your advice on accomplishing goals and dreams? Do you try to concentrate on one thing at a time and really go for it, or do you think it's better to try and get a few goals in the works at the same time? Okay, so spoiler alert, okay, new series on the channel coming in the new year, all about law of attraction and goals and dreams becoming reality. So I have a lot of great content that I'm writing up for you guys that I want to film. So my advice, have multiple goals, okay? I always have multiple goals, say fitness goals, or getting up early every day, eating healthy, filming so many videos a week. It's always good to have little goals scattered throughout your week and in your day. Like, what would you like to get done today? That's a goal. So always have goals. And for big picture kind of goals, like I said, I'm trying to chisel out what my next big move is, which country I'm going to apply for a visa for, and how I'm going to do that, and how I want to be able to fend for myself, basically live and work independently. So I'm working on that right now. I think that it's always good to have a big, audacious goal in the works, but always scatter the little ones out there. Like I said, daily, weekly, monthly, that's always amazing to have. Next. If you could give one advice to all the people in the world, what would it be? If I had one piece of advice to give to all the people in the world, I'd probably say it would be go on a trip by yourself, like I said. Go on a trip by yourself, discover yourself. It's really true that you need to go get lost and find yourself. So that would be the one thing I just really hope that everyone does. Maybe travel isn't for you, and that's totally fine. I know that travel is a big part of me, and it doesn't have to be a big part of you. But I think if travel isn't something, then really try to find yourself elsewhere. Maybe try to get more spiritual, focus on meditation, have some quiet, quality time consistently with yourself to really discover yourself. Like I said, it was easier for me to separate myself from the life I was living in a completely new place and have to go through different challenges every single day. And that's how I really discovered myself. I'd say just make sure you chisel out that time for yourself, because in that self-discovery, you're going to realize that topic that I mentioned about being your own best friend and being your own motivator. And when you can really grasp that you are your longest commitment in this life and you have to hang out with yourself, you have to hang out with yourself every single day for the rest of your life. So why wouldn't you make that relationship a positive, good, motivating one? So I guess that's the best advice. Basically, find yourself and be your own best friend, and you are going to be able to accomplish amazing things when you are tapped into the good vibes. Sorry for rambling, guys. I feel like this is the Q&A that turned into like something else. Last question is to share one thing on your bucket list. Skydiving. Skydiving, most definitely. I need to go skydiving. And this is a goal of mine, but I know that I want to do it somewhere really epic. I don't have a specific location or anything planned like that. This is just one thing that needs to happen. And I truly believe that it will be spontaneous and it will happen when the timing is right and all that. But yeah, bucket list up there is skydiving. It's gotta get done. Let me know if you guys have been skydiving below and where you went and if you recommend it. That would be cool to find out. Anyways, guys, I hope that you're having an amazing day, and thank you so much for sticking around for this Q&A and of course asking me all these amazing questions. I love to hear from you, and like I said, I try to answer everybody in the comments, so if you have any additional questions, leave them below and I'll film a Q&A or answer them in another one of my videos. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe below, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!